actually, Shrishti. Let's put it that way. And very good morning to you. And today I cannot even say the markets are doing absolutely nothing, because they are doing something, but it's on the downside. We are actually seeing some sort of a weakness. You can blame it solely on what is happening on the global factors as well. And yes, we have the monthly expiry as well in today. So that all of those factors will affect the way how the markets are moving. Right now, 100 points down to coming in for the Nifty. We are actually trying to defend the 80,000 mark since the word go. If you look at what's the picture like when it comes to the Nifty 50 index, it's a sea of red this time around. Only 4 or barely 5 stocks are in the positive territory. The rest all are in the negative territory. So Tata Consumer, Ultratech, Tata Motors, Grasim, HUL, all of them are trading with a downward bias as we speak. Talking about Nifty, Bank is also moving in tandem with the benchmark indices, 0.6% down to coming in for Nifty Bank as well. Let's talk about sectoral indices, and all of them are actually in the negative territory in today's trading session, with the mid-cap index down about 1%, FMCG is down about 1%, Realty, PSU Bank, Auto, all of them are on the negative side today. So yes, Shrishti, like you said, that today is the monthly expiry. Markets are pretty weak in trade today, so we are likely to get more queries, just like always.
Well, yes, absolutely. We'll watch out for that, because the year end and we were hoping for the Santa rally to come in, but it did kick just after the Christmas, but not in a much fancy way. So we have been waiting for the move in the markets, but that's very important, and we have been highlighting for coming 2023 what are the top picks by our experts. So let's get started with the show. We will be telling you the top picks for 2023, and not just that, we'll also be taking up your stock queries as well. So let's move forward, and firstly let me welcome on board Kunal Bothra joining us live. Very good morning, Kunal. Which is the top pick for 2023 for our viewers that you have got today?
So good morning, Srishti, as well as Cheryl. And my belief is that large caps could make a very strong comeback in 2023. So I think we've seen many of the large cap names going into a bit of a rally for themselves. But I think large caps like M&M should lead back again from the front. It's been one of the much better performers in 2022 in the second half at least. And my belief is that the auto stocks have to make a strong comeback. And I think M&M should be one of the top most performers going forward as well. So would be bullish on the stock from current levels. 1400 is the target which I would peg for M&M. Stop loss 1170.
All right, so that's the top pick coming in for 2023. Today's pick for Kunal is Mahindra & Mahindra, and if you have noted the past few days of picks, let's to recap it for our viewers. It was MCX, AB Capital, Bank of Baroda, and Mahindra & Mahindra, and those are the top picks coming in from Kunal. But Kunal, we were expecting a Santa rally in the month of December, but instead of Santa, looks like the Grinch has made an appearance.
Well, yes, and I think it doesn't come as a surprise, frankly, Cheryl, because the global markets are also a bit more, I would say, lull in terms of price action. There is no major rally which is coming back into these indices, and I'm talking of both the US markets as well as the Asian indices. The trend seems to have somehow gone missing. Many of the global markets are retracing back to their 200-day moving averages, and that may actually not be a good sign for the indices overall. So maybe it could be a year-end profit booking, maybe it could be a compulsion kind of a profit booking, or a lull of price action as well as volume action for these kind of global indices. But then I think we'll have to wait out for how the rollover data pan out today, as well as the start of the Jan series, because the start of the Jan series would also mark the start of a new calendar year as well. So I believe in that regards, we'll need to see how the markets start to shape up from the first week of Jan. That I believe could be a stronger as well as a possible sign that the trends could come back again. So as of now, expecting the markets to remain into a bit of a trading range, 18,000, 18,250 on the Nifty.
All right, so that's the word coming in on markets as well from Kunal. But with that, let's actually slip into a break on this edition of Buy Now, Sell Now. When we come back, we will connect with our fundamental analysts as well and get you the top picks and also take your queries.
Powered by
listed company, we have access to capital, we have great brands.
Now, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do. We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong. We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
Now, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do. We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong. We are a publicly
Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now Sell Now on ET Now, and as promised before the break, we are joined now by our fundamental analyst Ashish Kapoor, who's joining us on the show along with Kunal Bothra. A very good morning to you, Ashish. Thank you so much for joining us on ET Now. And firstly, before we ask your top picks for the year 2023, if you could share with our viewers or the retail investors out there, what should they do to keep their wealth protected in the year 2023?
I think the best way to keep your wealth protected is to remain invested or invest fresh money in the equity markets, because I think that will probably give you the best hedge against inflation and also help you build capital over the years. And I think this year specifically, I think one has no reason to worry. At best, we could be in a sideways range, but at worst, we could be in a sideways range. That is if the international pressures continue and there's no letting down there. But on any positive indication from the global markets, it could be the end of the war in Ukraine or easing on inflation or kind of consensus that the interest rate increases have kind of, we have seen the end of it or near the end of it. I think the markets are set to rally. I think the only thing pulling us back is the international pressure. Otherwise, domestic indicators are very good. Economy is very good. The liquidity coming in the market is also very robust. So everything domestic seems quite okay. Just the international pressure. And like I said, the worst case can be that the international pressure remains for the full year. So you remain sideways in a range the way you are right now. That can be the worst case scenario. Even then, I think the stock specific actions will continue. So there will be money making opportunities. And best case can be if the international pressures kind of ease off, then we can have a nice rally from here. And so either way, I think the worst of the equity market period is nearly behind us. So you can look forward to a better 2023 compared to what was 2022. So that way, I think I'm positive that the market is going to give you better money-making opportunities going ahead.
That's the view coming in on markets as well as what retail investors should do. But Ashish, just wanted to know from you quickly, what are your top picks for 2023 and some of the money-making opportunities that retail investors should be looking out for?
Well, I think the PSU sector saw a great re-rating in the year gone by. I think some of it will continue. Within the PSU sector, I think PSU banks have really come back after many, many years. And I still think there is some more steam left here. So amongst the PSU banks, my top pick would be Bank of Baroda. I think still the bank has much more steam left on the upside. Despite the run-up, the valuations are still comfortable. It is still quoting at less than book value. And despite the fact that it is one of the better managed PSU banks and also has the least amount of net NPA ratios amongst the PSU banks, and also a great focus on improving the quality of assets and very visible, nice presence across the country. So I think Bank of Baroda has a very limited downside risk and a very good, reasonable upside potential. So this could be one idea, and you can buy here with a conservative target of 230, which I think should be exceeded as the year goes by, but 230 can be a very conservative target here. Other than that, I think there are a few stocks which look very good after the correction. LIC has cooled off significantly after the IPO, and I think at the present juncture, it represents a very good risk-reward opportunity. I think the risk here is very limited on the downside. Most of the selling which had to happen has happened. So LIC could be another very interesting stock idea to pick. Patanjali Foods, I really think that the correction from 1400 plus levels to 1150, 1160, where it is quoting now, the stock is now representing a very good entry opportunity. The company is very big in edible oils and also has over the last 2 years taken over all the food and beverage products from Patanjali Ayurveda. So it brings a very broad, diversified range of food and beverage products, and comparatively at a much cheaper valuation than its peers. There's no great scope for improving volume and margin both going forward. So this can be another idea, and I think the upside target could be as high as 1700. Apart from that, I think HCL Tech is the contrarian pick, because I think it's the cheapest, already reached a level where it is very cheap, has a good 3% dividend yield. So even if the IT sector takes a little time to come back, I think one can start sipping into HCL Tech at these levels. Praj Industries is my pick from the capital goods space. I think gets a lot of benefit from the sugar as well as the ethanol cycle. Ethanol is going to be a secular growth story going forward. So Praj can be an interesting stock to play. And the last pick can be Tata Motors, which has corrected significantly. And I think both the volumes, domestic and national, should improve from.
Right. All right. So that's an exhaustive list of all the stocks that you can watch out for 2023. I think our viewers have hit a jackpot with Ashish's list of stocks to invest. 6 stocks is what Ashish has outlined for the year 2023. But on that note, actually, let's kickstart with the query segment then. And remember, viewers, you can connect to us on YouTube. We are live on YouTube, Twitter, as well as Facebook. Do write in to us and tell us about the stock that you want to know about, as well as the time horizon that you're looking to hold a particular counter. But that, let me kickstart with the queries then. And the first query that I have is coming in from Vasu, and this one is for you, Kunal. Jubilant FoodWorks, he's purchased at an average price of 580 rupees per share. He wants to know whether it's good time to average it for a 1-year horizon.
Well, not to average at current levels, but then I would believe you can just continue to hold on to your existing quantity as of now. The stock is tapping into a strong multi-month support. I think the last time when the news flow was a lot more negative for Jubilant Food, the stock had bounced off from this 487-500 mark. It's tapping back into that 500 support zone. So if this time around the stock again holds on to this 500 odd levels on monthly closing basis, then there could be a possibility of a bounce back further for Jubilant Food. But then I would just about suggest a hold as of now, not to add.
Okay, moving on to the next query that's coming from Senthil Well from Bangalore. Ashish is holding Sri Pushkar Chemicals 722 quantities at a price of 194. Currently at a loss. Do you track this company, and would you be able to advise him how the fundamentals shaping up and what he should do?
Well, I don't track this company, but I think the sector is generally positive. I think that the chemical sector has witnessed some correction in the recent past. So I think sector itself I am very positive, but Sri Pushkar I haven't tracked.
The next one is coming from Santi and Kunal. This is for you. Clean Sciences, 32 shares at a price of 1,558 rupees per share. He's saying that now the stock has come down to the lows of IPO listing. The stock has taken a small reversion from its RSI 30 levels. So he wants to know what should he do? Do you believe that the fall now will be limited for Clean Sciences, and therefore he should look to accumulate here from here on for the medium to long term?
So even if you compare the last 4 days of 5 days of price action, now, I think the day when the stock had hit the so-called oversold territory in terms of RSI levels below 30 mark, the volumes were pretty much high that day. And the subsequent next 3 or 4 days of bounce for the stock price, the average volumes is significantly lower, which means the fall is on much sharper volumes and the rise or the bounce is on much lower volumes. That is generally not proof enough that the stock has bottomed out. Now we need to see a point where the volumes rise up and the prices also rise up in a very synchronized manner. That could be a point where I believe you can look to go contra and look to average further. As of now, just about a hold.
Okay, Kunal, Tushar Banerjee wants to know from you which are the right levels to enter Bank of Baroda for the 2-year horizon. This was one of your top picks as well, and other than that, is this a good time to enter ICICI Bank?
Well, Bank of Baroda, I think it's already at a very good level when you look at large cap names and the ones which have been performing. So Bank of Baroda was almost at 195, 96 in a few weeks back. It's dropped by 10%. So generally we say that 10% to 20% is a good starting point, depending on the kind of risk appetite as well as the beta nature of the stock. And for Bank of Baroda, I think at 180 odd levels, it's a good starting point for you. You can look to average, maybe if the stock drops off another 10 rupees, 12 rupees odd from current levels. ICICI Bank, I would still be a bit circumspect because the stock has somehow lost its leadership quality in this last 2-3 months of price action compared to the private sector names. Yes, ICICI Bank is one of the formidable names, has a very good history over the last decade and a half. But then the recent chart patterns are indicated that somehow the stock may drift or consolidate a bit more. So I would believe we should not be in a hurry to buy ICICI Bank. In case if the stock provides a value opportunity, maybe closer to 850 levels, that's where you can look to start buying.
Okay, this one is from Vishal. He's writing to us from Dubai, and this one is for you, Ashish. He's saying that he understands that Bikaji is a newly listed stock and is trading at high PE. So he wants to know, is it the right time or the price to add this particular counter for the long term?
Well, I don't think so. Like you rightly said, I think the stock is very expensive, and I think whatever growth you may put a factor in, I think the stock needs to correct fair amount from here to be able to present a good entry opportunity. So I think at the present juncture, avoid.
On Ashish, the next question is from RK Ahuja. He wants to know whether it's a good time to hold on to all of these counters or add on. He has 2 counters currently. First is GE Shipping. He acquired these counters at a price of 660, and the other one is currently at a loss for him. That is ACE Action Construction at a price of 323. What will be your advice?
Well, ACE, I think certainly he should hold on. I think somewhere down the line, I think capital goods, construction, this space is coming back in a strong way. So I think ACE would definitely be able to generate good returns from here for him. So ACE, certainly hold on. G Shipping, I'm not sure. I think there are many better opportunities. It's better that he books out from here and puts his money somewhere else. In fact, it's a laggard for over the years, not a great value creating stock. So I think G Shipping, I think you can book out. But Ace, I think certainly hold on. I think even in the immediate future, it looks very interesting with the kind of activity picking up in the construction and capital goods space.
Kunal, let me get this one out of the way because Indumati wants her technical view on gold for the near term. She's saying that there's no follow-up after it touched $1,800 per ounce levels. But what's your view on gold on the technical level in the near term and as well as 2023 if you have had a chance to look at it?
So I would be bullish on gold over the near to medium term. Now, yes, on the short-term charts, gold has hit some sort of a resistance. But then, if the index or the asset class gets into a bit of a corrective phase, and then it would probably offer a good buying opportunity. Now, in dollar terms, I think 1750.54 has been a decent support for gold over the very recent charts. In rupee terms, I think closer to maybe 53,500, 54,000 could be a point where you can look to start buying gold in case if it dips to those levels.
Okay, moving on to the next query. Ashish Subrata Mukherjee wants to know long-term view on Balaji Mines. What will be your advice?
Very positive. I think these companies are very good, and I think Balaji Mines has been a great value creator over the last few years, and I think a very good opportunity to now buy into this stock. And I think you will, from here onwards, if you have a year and a half kind of a time frame, I think you should make good money from this counter.
The next one that I have is coming in from Satya, and this one is for you, Kunal. Sonacom Star, he's holding for the last 6 months at a price of 500 rupees per share. He wants to know, as the stock is traveling south, what's the best strategy for the next 6 months? Should he hold, add or switch to another counter?
See, I think it makes sense to switch to another counter because there is lack of volumes, lack of price, trend on the upside. The stock has been reeling below the 200-day moving average since last 9-10 months. No signs of major rally or a pickup of price trend. I think except for a minor phase where the volumes have shot up for Sonacom Star, the stock has been just struggling to find any major buyers. So that's one of the reasons why I would suggest that you should look to exit the stock. But then exiting the stock at current levels may also not be a great strategy. So you ideally have to wait out for a decent enough bounce to play out for the stock, if it happens in the next 1 to 3 months. So if the stock comes back, say, closer to 480, 500 zone, that could be a point where you may look to exit and then switch on to some other names.
Okay, moving on to the next query that we have, and that's coming from P. Arnachalam. Ashish, he's looking to invest in 4 counters. One is ITC, Pidilite, Bajaj Finance and PI Industries. Wants to know the right price to enter these counters. The time horizon for investment is 3 years. Out of these 4s, which one is the most that you like, and will that be the best time to enter in these counters?
ITC, PI Industries, Pidilite, and which is the 4th counter?
Bajaj Finance.
Okay, I think all 4 are nice, good value creating companies. I would stick my neck out and say that if you have to choose one, it should be Bajaj Finance because it has really underperformed in the last 6-8 months, especially. The stock has in fact corrected, is about 20-25% down from its peak level. So I think if they have to choose one out of the 4, it should be Bajaj Finance. You can do it at the current levels. PI Industries has moved up a fair bit in the very recent past, so maybe wait for a correction here. Pidilite, there is no problem. Pidilite is a very evergreen stock. It almost every year it gives you some return, so I don't see anything to really think about in Pidilite. It's a very steady, slow moving but a continuous wealth creator, so that can be always added to your portfolio. ITC also looks very good. I think ITC has broken out of a very strong consolidation over the years. The company also, the results have been very encouraging. So I think in the very near future, maybe the next 1 or 2 years, it should outperform the other FMCG peers. So ITC also has corrected a fair bit from its recent highs. So it presents a very good opportunity. I think except for PI Industries, which you can wait for a correction, the other 3 are good to buy. But like I said, I think if you really have to choose one, then it should be Bajaj Finance.
Moving on, then this one is for you, Kunal. This one is from Manish, and I am with the query that he's asked. I know that Manish follows you very closely. So what he's asking is about RCF. He has 750 shares. He's purchased at 124 rupees per share. What he's written to me is saying that last time Kunal said that it might correct back to 110 levels. But after yesterday's move, he wants to know if your view has changed on RCF for the short term, because we've seen that over the last few weeks also, the fertilizer counters are seeing a volatile move. You know, one day they're really soaring in trade, the next day they're down and out.
No, I think it's a good opportunity to try and book profits over here. So I maintain that stance that RCF could probably correct back towards that 110 mark. What's actually happened is in this last 1 week of sell-off, and then the last 3-4 days of bounce back, the indicators have not given a very strong or ferocious bounce back, and that may not be a good comfortable sign for the stock price. Now that would generally indicate that sooner than later, because the indicators are not supporting the move of prices on the upside, the prices may have to revert back on the downside, and when that happens, you could probably expect a profit booking wave or a selling wave which could come back into these fertilizer names back again. So I would be of the belief that I think it's a good time to try and book profits if you've bought at 120 odd levels, and then look to buy back again at much lower levels than your initial cost price.
Okay, moving on to the next query that's coming from Ravi and Ashish. She's looking to enter Divi's lab and wants to know, is this a right time to enter? Because on a YTD basis, the stock is already down around 26%. The time horizon is for the next 2 to 3 years. What will be your advice?
Certainly, I think it's a great company. It's gone into a little rough patch. It has moved, somewhat from the recent lows. That was, I think, around 32.50. But yes, on the way down, you can keep, adding in small quantities at every decline. If you have 2 to 3 years, I think this is a very great stock idea. The company, I am very sanguine, will bounce back at some point of time. It has a very good management, very good track record. And I think, generally speaking, when these very well-managed companies go through a rough patch, that is a great opportunity for long-term investors to buy. And DVs should not be any exception. So I think, yes, this correction in DVs and this downturn in the temporary is quite temporary. So it should be used for buying. But like I said, buy in a staggered way, because I think it has moved up a bit in the very recent past. So could come back again and retest the recent lows. So start buying now and keep adding adding small quantities on every decline, and keep it for 2 to 3 years. I think you should make very good money here.
This one is for you, Kunal. Abhishek is asking about Tata Motors. His buy price is 452 rupees per share. He has about 29 shares. So he wants to know whether he should average right now or wait for it to fall some more. He's a long-term investor as well.
I think you should wait out for some more time. I understand that I think 380 approximately is a good level for Tata Motors. But somehow with this phase of market correction, I would believe that there could be a possibility of a further downward move into the stock price over the very near term. So if you can try and maybe capitalize for another, say, 17-18 rupees on the downside, 370 approximately could be a decent buying zone for Tata Motors. So it's a stock which I believe holds a lot of merit over the medium to longer term play, but the buying price can be a bit more lower than current levels. So 370 or below is where I would suggest to buy the stock.
Okay, Kunal, Swati is looking to get into BLS International as well as Mazagon Dock. Both of these counters have seen a stellar run-up on a YTD basis, but going ahead, will that be a good strategy to enter at these levels?
So BLS International, I think it's a good time actually to book out profits. If you are looking to rebuy, then I think you should wait out for some more time. I think these stocks could probably go into a correction. Same would be the case with Mazagon Dock as well. The stock has done exceptionally well. So after rising by 3x, kind of a percentage, 3x kind of a move in the last 1 year, it's bound to be that these stocks would go into a very sharp phase of correction. The correction seems to have just started off for Mazagon Dock. I wouldn't be surprised that the stock may retest the previous lows, which was I think around 700, 720 mark for Mazagon Dock, and go below that as well for a brief period of time. So it's better to try and take opportunity when the stock gets into a corrective phase rather than momentum.
All right, this one is coming from Anuradha, and she wants to know which is the best textile stock to invest in for this decade or for the next 5 years at least, in order to take the advantage of the PLI scheme. Ashish, which is that textile stock do you think that will shine bright in the next decade or for the next 5 years, and that will benefit from the PLI scheme?
Well, I don't know whether it will really benefit from the PLI scheme, but I think the stock to invest in the textile space should be Vardhman. I think that's a clear, choice because it's fundamentally very good, very well managed, and I think they're fairly large and very well diversified. And I think and also corrected a fair bit from the highs. So I think Vardhman Textile should be the number one choice if you really have to buy one stock and keep it for a few years.
Okay, but with this, it's time to slip into a short break. But viewers, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back and taking up more of your stock queries and experts. Please also hang on.
आग को फैलने से रोकना.
Listed company, we have access to capital, we have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do. We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong. We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do. We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong. We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
Welcome back to Buy Now, Sell Now. Looking at the markets, so we will see that markets continue to hold on to 18,000 levels or not, because the cuts are around 110 points as of now for Nifty 50, and for Bank Nifty we are down about 270 points. So that was about the markets, but let's get back to taking all of your stock queries and moving on to the next one. This query is from Suresh Ashish, and he's holding a stock like RVNL at a price of 77. After a stellar run up for this particular counter, he's still at a loss, but he wants to know the future prospects for the next 1 year. What will be your advice?
It's RVNL, right?
Yes, RVNL.
Well, I haven't really tracked it lately, but so I would like to reserve my comment.
Okay, Kunal, will you be able to help him? Because even after a good run-up, he's currently at a loss. So will that make sense to hold on this counter in 2023?
So I don't believe that you should look to hold on and extend this time horizon to 2023. RVNL and such kind of stocks, they are more theme-based stocks. So they may play out for 3 months, 6 months, but once the tide turns, these stocks, they can remain into a correction / consolidation for quarters and for maybe even years as well on a trot. So I would believe that it's always better to try and play these stocks as more short-term bets, more momentum bets, rather than converting them into longer-term trends. So I would be of the belief that if you happen to get back closer to your cost price, maybe at 74, 75-ish on RVNL, say over the next couple of days, it's a good time where you should look to exit.
Okay, this one is coming from Girish. Kunal, I'm unsure if you track this one. Ishan Dyes and Chemicals. Do you track this stock by any chance?
Not really.
Okay, fine. Then let me go to the next query then. And the next query that I have is coming in from Nino. And he wants to know if it's prudent to buy KNR Constructions at current levels for the long term. Kunal.
So KNR Constructions, yes, you can look to buy. I think the stock has done reasonably well. It's a more stable stock from the entire construction space. The stock, even at current levels, for example, is trading just around its 200 moving average. Had a fantastic run from the 2020 lows, and when you look at the last 5 years, 10 years of charts as well, it's very, very attractive for KNR Construction. So just going by that longer term trend, the stability the stock offers in terms of your mid-cap portfolio, I think it's a good buy or a hold from a medium to long term play.
Okay, Ashish Akshay has entered into Shivalik Bimetals at a price of 380. His time horizon is for the next 1 to 2 years, sitting at a good gains right now, but going ahead, what is the outlook?
Well, I think he should book profits, because I think the entire metal space, including Shivalik Bimetals, I think the best idea of is to book profits whenever you make money here, because things can change very fast, and the international pressures and so many other factors come into play. So I think if you're making money, I think you book it, and these are all trading stocks. So whenever you make money, you should book here.
Okay, the next one that I have is coming in from Muthu Pilani, and Kunal, this one was also for you. He wants to know your views on BSC and whether he should buy it afresh.
So BSC, CAMS, I think CDSL, these stocks had a fantastic 2020. I think from the 2020 lows, BSC rallied off from I think 96 or 100 rupees to almost as much as 1,000 plus, so which means a 10x kind of a rally in a span of 1.5 year for BSC. Now after that 10x kind of a rally, the stock has corrected back towards 530, 500 levels, which means it's completed a 50% retracement from the from the rally from 2020 lows. The more important part is that when you see stocks going into 10x kind of a move in a short span of time, these stocks, they remain into consolidation for maybe at least 2 to 3 years. So this is just the first year which have completed for the stock consolidating. If you are okay holding on to the stock for the next 2 years, assuming if it remains at the current levels of 500 to maybe at best 600, 650 levels, then only I think you should look to buy or enter the stock. If your time horizon is anything which is closer to maybe 1 year or less, then I would refrain buying the stock at current levels.
Okay, Ashish Tapas Chandra entered into 2 counters. Firstly is Sharda Cropchem, but his buying price is way above the current market price at 670 levels. And the other one is the Jeevan Small Finance Bank. He entered at the current market price. So what will be your advice going ahead?
Ujjivan is where I can comment on, and I think I'm fairly bullish on this company. And I think if you entered the current price and you have a decent time period to hold on, so remain invested. I think over a period of time, you should make money in Ujjivan Small Finance. Sharda Cropchem, I haven't tracked, so I will refrain from commenting.
Kunal, will you be able to advise him?
Yeah, I think you can hold on to Sharda Crop. I think the stock is just trying to make a comeback over the last few days. It's still below the 200-day moving average, but because of the recent comeback, the change in volumes, I would say a very slight change in volumes, but still it's very noticeable. There's been change of volumes for Sharda Crop over the last 1 to 2 months. The stock has stopped falling and is now prone to more rallies or uptrends, even if it's very short-term kind of a burst of uptrend. So that generally indicates that at least there is demand which is coming back into the stock price. So you can look to buy at current levels. I would also suggest that keep a position size which is 50-50. You can start buying 50% at current levels and keep the balance 50% at maybe around 440 levels to average further.
Okay. This one is for you, Ashish. A bit of a longish query coming in from Sagar. He wants a fundamental view on Galaxy Surfactant. He's saying the stock is falling like a smooth butter knife from 3,500 to 2,400 levels. He wants to know what are the factors that are contributing to this particular fall in the stock price. He also wants to know what sort of earnings growth projections do you have for Galaxy Surfactants. What he's also adding is that there is inflation pressure that will be creating hurdles for them in the short term. But do you see the growth in volumes and margins pick up? Because that is where it is getting impacted the most.
The company is actually quite a fundamentally strong counter, and yes, maybe it's fallen very badly in the recent past, but otherwise, if you look at back in the history, it went up also a lot in 2020, 2021. So yes, there's somewhere there is pressure because most of the FMCG counters are facing inflation pressure, so they are cutting costs, and that obviously is going to impact suppliers like Galaxy Surfactants. But having said that, the company is very well positioned, and these products are used by a very wide range of FMCG companies and a very essential product. So I think it's a matter of time before it comes back. The timing is difficult, but I think if you can hold on and perhaps even try to, if you have money available for the long run, buy at these current prices or on declines. I think the stock is very well managed, and the company is very well managed, and it has a history of creating investor wealth. So I think it's a matter of time before it comes back. There's nothing wrong. It's just that it had run up a lot, and also there are some pressures because of cost cutting and margin pressures which the FMCG companies are facing. But that is something which is in the short run. The long run, I think the stock will do well, according to me. So use this as an opportunity to buy.
Moving on, Kunal, Girish Iyer has bought 10,000 shares of Power Grid at a price of 239, currently at a loss, but on a YTD basis, we haven't seen stock doing much. But going ahead, what is the outlook? Is that a hold or exit at these levels?
Well, I don't see any major trends coming up for Power Grid. In fact, it's been one of the most docile kind of stocks, from the PSU as well as from the Power Pack. So I don't see any reason why. I think you should have looked to buy such a huge quantity for the stock, and that too at the much higher in the price range for Power Grid. I would suggest that use any kind of a rally which comes by and helps you ease out on the losses, and then look to exit at those levels.
All right, and with that, let's quickly kickstart with the rapid fire then. And let me come first to you, Kunal. Polyplex 1,762 was the medium-term outlook. Should Jaykrishnan average it now?
You can look to average at current levels.
Okay, Ashish Neela wants to enter for the long term in Elcon Engineering and Indian Hotels. Is this the right time to enter?
Indian Hotels, certainly yes. Elcon could wait and maybe use declines too.
Okay, Naman wants to know at what price should he buy Gujarat Alkalis for the long term, Kunal?
I think levels of 700, just around 700 could be a better level to buy.
Okay, Ashish, Anindya Pal has bought 9,000 shares of Orient Cement at a price of 163. What will be your advice?
I haven't tracked this, so I'll let it pass.
Okay, Rajesh Maheshwari has bought ABFRL Kunal 550 shares at 250 rupees per share. Wants to know what's the outlook for the medium to short term.
I'm very bullish on medium to long term play. I think the stock has ended a phase of correction. You can look to average as well.
Okay, Kunal, an easy one for you. Mandikandan has bought 100 shares of BHEL at a price of 78. What will be your advice?
Hold.
Kunal Kaustubh wants to know about Amara Raja battery. After super up move, the stock is falling. Do you see any bounce back? What should he do with his holding?
Yeah, a bit surprised with the sell-off for Amara Raja batteries over the last couple of days, but then possibly there's a bounce back. That could be a better point to try and average.
Okay, Ashish, query from Prem Katam. Is this a good time to enter LTTS?
Yeah, I think so. Only thing is, don't buy the entire quantity. Buy it in a staggered way. Use declines to keep adding. And yes, if you have a long-term time frame, 2 years plus, it's a great time to buy well-managed IT companies, including LTTS, but buy in a staggered way like this.
Okay, Kunal, Joy Sheila has Laurus Labs 20% loss and Rallis India 10% loss. Should he hold or average, and which one should he?
Rallis, you can hold. Laurus, I've been an advocate of exiting the stock, so you may look to exit on the rallies.
Okay, Ashish, the next question from Ravi. He has bought 100 shares of Repco Home at a price of 250. Currently not much at a loss. What will be your advice?
I think hold on.
All right, and with that, we come to the end of the rapid fire as well as query segment. Thank you so much, Kunal, as well as Ashish, for joining us on the show, sharing your top 2023 picks with our viewers and also resolving their queries. And viewers, on that note, we'll slip into a break on this edition of Buy Now, Sell Now. But stay tuned, more on the other side, so don't go anywhere.
While the world's
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
But if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do. We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
But if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do. We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
Welcome back to Buy Now, Sell Now, and let's move on. And if you have ever watched the Netflix series Blown Away and ever wondered what goes behind making the glass sculptures, that's exactly what Arjun Rathi and Ismail Plumber wanted each one to experience at their first of their kind art Glass Studio. And Cheryl D'Souza, the one sitting next to me, got a chance to visit the studio in Mumbai to understand what actually goes behind the two artists, what they actually planned for their Rural Modern Art Studio. Let's take a look at that, Cheryl.
Did you know that these beautiful lampshades are actually made via glass blowing technique? And this is actually made in the heart of Mumbai city. I will take you to Rural Modern Glass Studio to show you how exactly these intricate, beautiful lampshades are made. So come along with me. I'm at the Rural Modern Glass Studio, and with me today I have Arjun as well as Ismail. Hi Arjun.
Hi, welcome Cheryl.
Hi Ismail.
Welcome, Cheryl.
And I've heard a lot about what you guys do. I believe that y'all are the first art glass studio in India, isn't it?
Yeah, so I think like the studio, we started it last year, and we are hoping to sort of grow the studio to build a new language of glass art in the country, and open the studio to other designers to use and collaborations, you know, that can follow from there.
Great, so let's go about the studio and see how it is and how actually all of this work comes to play.
So here we have our main glass furnaces. This is the main glass furnace, which is on at 1150 degrees Celsius. It's on 24/7. We never shut it off. It's got clear glass melting in it. This is our reheating furnace called the Gloriole furnace. We spend about 70% of our work.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access.
We work on it on the bench, and then we keep reheating the glass so it's workable again at that furnace. The last machine that you're seeing there in the series over there is the annealing furnace. So after the glass piece is made, it has to be slowly cooled down. And this furnace ramps the temperature of the glass product over 14 hours from 1100 degrees to room temperature really slowly. Since you guys are here, I'm going to show you all the glass inside the furnace. You should come here, Cheryl. I'll show you quickly.
I must tell you, it's really hot in there.
You've not seen how hot it actually is now.
Wow.
That is the molten lava that we gather the furnace and the glass from.
So it's about 1000 degrees, 1100 degrees right now. And it's as viscous as honey.
Okay.
So that's how viscous the glass is when you have to manage it. And for collecting the glass on the pipe, you have to have the glass warm. So the glass will stick to the hot pipe, otherwise it will not stick, it will flow off.
Okay. Yeah. So what made you all actually start this particular
well,
studio,
I've been a glass artist in the glass manufacturing unit at my own unit, and Arjun was the lighting designer. We collaborated on a lot of projects. So every time Arjun should come up with a fantastic project, and I should say that, boss, we have to have our own unit to make these things. And finally we did that. You know, we put up our own unit to make fabulous stuff for ourselves.
I'm sure it's very fabulous. I was actually blown away to say by the way how this technique actually works, and I must say it's a lot of hard work that goes behind each and every piece, isn't there? A lot of sweat also.
Absolutely. In fact, like, it's a very patient process. You know, certain pieces, what you're seeing over here, like the candy or the glass plates, they all take 45 minutes to an hour to produce each piece. Yeah. And if they are not up to mark or up to the standard, we have to break it or we can't use it for a client, you know. So that's when we start recycling our glass.
All right, so this is the studio right at the heart of Mumbai city. It is located at Chembur, and this is supposed to be India's first art glass studio where all of this comes into work. And yes, they also are eyeing the international market. So this is definitely a space that you need to watch out for, given the fact that we don't have much exposure in India. You know, Shrishti, it all looks so easy, but I must tell you, it was really, really a lot of hard work, and you really need a lot of strength also to do this. But I must tell you, I have to give kudos and the credit to my camera team. I had Tushar and Amit who joined us, and they've done fantastic work.
Absolutely, they have done fantastic job, and you have also done fantastic job getting us the inside of the India's first glass studio. But with this, Cheryl, after such an amazing package, it's time to wrap this edition of Buy Now, Sell Now. It's a goodbye from me and Cheryl and the entire team who put this show together. Thank you so much for watching.
capital, we have great brands.
Now, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong. We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
Now, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong. We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
Now, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge.
Another lackluster day as far as the street is concerned. Lack of global cues keeps sentiment muted. However, it's the expiries today and the markets are flat with a negative bias. All sectors are trading almost in the red.
Even as China reopens its borders, cases continue to surge and several countries are now imposing restrictions on flyers from the country. US, Italy will require all passengers from China to test negative for COVID.
Investors run after value, but just look at how the FANG stocks have performed, from Apple to Alphabet to Facebook. These growth stocks have fallen anywhere between 30 to 70% this year so far, while Tesla, the most popular EV play, also has crashed 70%.
Shriram Finance plunges after more than 17 crore new shares list on the bourses, boosting supply and prompting investors to perhaps check out. The street believes there is an overhang of any large non-promoter offloading stake, which might keep the stock price in check.
In the IPO market, KFin Technologies shares list just about 2 to 3 rupees higher than the issue price. Muted listing, one has to say, considering market cues and dampened sentiment. Remember, issue was subscribed almost 3 times for the number of versus the number of shares that they had offered.
In an exclusive now, PMEAC member Sanjeev Sania lauds India's growth story, says we are now a capital-hungry country that is utilizing its resources carefully. Adds that bank balance sheets are much cleaner than they were 5 years ago. And this is the time for India to prove its leadership in the global arena. Hello and welcome. You're watching Markets at Noon on ET Now. I am Anisha Jain. With me is Pankaj Poddar. It's the last day as far as monthly